On this week's Most Craved.
Is 20th Century Fox's latest take on Marvel's first family going to be fantastic?
Prometheus 2 is in the works. Will Ridley Scott bring back his concept of alien Jesus, and will it be the franchise's personal savior?
Chimichanga. Hey guys, welcome to Most Craved. I'm Jenna Bush with Legion of Leia.
I'm Silas Lesnick with ComingSoon.net.
I'm Luke Y. Thompson from ToplessRobot.com.
And welcome. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Absolutely, glad to be here.
He's filling in for William Bibiani, who's actually seeing Fantastic Four right now.
Yeah, it's a rule. You have to have substitutes that are less good looking than William Bibiani, so that's why I'm here.
Gosh.
Fantastic Four, I haven't seen it yet. Not a lot of people have seen it. It's been very, very quiet. They're not doing a lot of screenings.
It's actually press screening right as we're recording this.
Yep, and one the same evening, and the reviews have not been stellar.
They've been fairly tepid. It doesn't sound like it's an awful movie, but it doesn't sound like it's anything that special.
And what I'm curious about is that why everyone, including myself, assumed that this would be the case. Is it the reshoots? Because every film has reshoots.
Well, this is a case where we're still not sure exactly what happened. Josh Trank was brought on board this picture, and in the intervening time, there have been a lot of reports of things going wrong. He was removed, or he dropped out of Star Wars, which he was supposed to do right after. It's a suspicious movie. The actors at the junket this last weekend hadn't seen the film yet, and were doing interviews just based on having made it.
And they're doing preemptive damage control. They're saying, well, movies like this don't get good reviews.
Yeah, they do, though, superhero movies. But what is it about the Fantastic Four that people keep messing up? And I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. I'm just going by what I read.
They don't do it right the first time. My argument has been that if they just did one Fantastic Four movie the classic way, then they could try different ones. Like, Dark Knight is a Batman movie that does everything I wanted a Batman movie to do, so now I don't care so much that Ben Affleck's Batman. Let Ben Affleck do what he wants, because my take on Batman has been done. Our take on Fantastic Four has never really been done properly, and that's what I think the problem is.
I think these may, and I could totally be wrong here, but I think maybe these are characters that work better in a comic book.
And a 60s comic book.
Yeah, or an animated series.
Well, honestly, I have been rereading, sort of getting excited, the old Fantastic Four comics, and it's so creative, and honestly, I think the best director for Fantastic Four would be something like Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
As far as like jumpsuits and the diagram of the Baxter Building and where everything is. That's the kind of approach I want. Peyton Reed, who directed Ant-Man, was supposed to do Fantastic Four once upon a time, and his pitch was it should be exactly like A Hard Day's Night, and it should be set in the 60s of this celebrity team. That's really cool.
And the Chris Columbus script was actually pretty good, too. It had the classic Dr. Doom that everybody likes. They keep screwing up Dr. Doom for whatever reason,
Don't screw up
when he
Dr.
should be the easiest villain to do, since he's like the classic Marvel one.
But now, do you think that this is going to affect the box office? Because that's weirdly, we've reviewed some movies that were maybe not so good that did really, really well at the box office.
I think, unfortunately, yeah. I think that there's so many movies out there. I think a lot of people still haven't seen Ant-Man. And when you hear there's a bunch of superhero movies, the average person, the diehard fans are going to see it. Even if reviews continue to be bad, I'm going to pay to see it just because I am sort of a Marvel zombie like that.
But
Marvel Zombie is the movie that should be made next.
Someone make that.
One of the things I actually found out was in the comics, there was a Fantastic Four movie in the 9th issue that was actually produced by Namor. It was a trick to capture the Fantastic Four, but it ended up coming out apparently to some acclaim in the Marvel universe.
I'll tell you a factor I think will affect the box office. I go into toy stores a lot because I cover toys quite a bit. There is no awareness in a toy store that a Fantastic Four movie is coming out.
There's nothing in there.
Part of that is that Hasbro doesn't have any kind of relationship with Fox over Marvel, so they don't see the early designs. They don't do movie toys based on the Fox movies. But with X-Men, there's such a deep roster, there's always X-Men toys on shelves. So there's some awareness when an X-Men movie comes out. They are not doing like a Ben Grimm or a Sue Storm or any of those that are comic-based to tie in with
Well, they
this.
wouldn't do Sue Storm anyway, because she's a girl, so just saying.
I'll tell you, the ones they did for the first movie, though, are amazing figures. I've got like one that's half transparent and has a base with swirls around. It's one of the coolest Marvel figures that has ever been done.
I have a Sue Storm action figure right here.
This is why we're friends, Silas.
It's an interesting situation, though, because theoretically, the rights to Fantastic Four will lapse unless they keep making movies.
Right.
So if
Yeah.
there's a very tepid response to this, what do you do? And the solution might be keep the same cast, because you have a fairly solid cast.
Yeah, they're
if nothing
great. They're
else.
great actors.
And cross them over. Cross them over with X-Men, or Deadpool is the one that we just saw the trailer for, which it's weird that Fantastic Four is hitting movies Friday, but people are more excited to see the Deadpool trailer on the big screen.
Well, did you see
Oh,
the
yeah.
trailer online that's like Fantastic Four, but then has a Deadpool tag at the very end?
No.
That's like, go see this and you'll see the Deadpool trailer in front of it.
Oh, God. Well, okay, so let's talk about the Deadpool trailer, because it's so good. And I'm not, to be absolutely fair, I'm not a huge Deadpool fan. I have nothing against Deadpool, just has never been my area of comics. So I was like, oh, Deadpool, that's cool. I think it's mostly because a lot of the Deadpool cosplayers at cons are really annoying. I mean, some of them are cool, but usually like I get whacked in the back of the head with one of their signs or something, and so, but the trailer, I'm totally in. I'm glad they're going R. I'm glad they're going really hardcore violence. It might actually make up for certain other movies that Ryan Reynolds has been in. I mean, there's even a joke about it, which we knew from Comic-Con,
Yeah.
but what'd you guys think?
I'm excited. I was a little, I wasn't entirely sold on the R rating, because I frankly think the funniest Deadpool stuff is the Joe Kelly comics, which sort of flaunt the R rating. Like they're not quite going there, but they find clever ways to hide it. That to me is often funnier. But the movie looks really good.
Well, also, Deadpool is very identifiable to kids, so I think you could have a Batman Returns type situation here where there's a huge parental backlash because their kids have the Deadpool Lego guys and they want to see Deadpool. But speaking for myself, I love really gleefully amoral characters, like every character Nicolas Cage has played in the past 10 years, so I'm totally into what it's showing me so far. I had a problem with Kingsman, which people are comparing it to, because the Kingsman characters are sort of proclaiming themselves to be moral, and they're not, and I'm not sure the movie fully understands that irony. Deadpool, I think, completely does.
Oh, absolutely. No, I laughed my ass off. I watched it quite a number of times. So we should also talk about Prometheus 2, which is reportedly beginning filming. And do we have to have another one?
Frankly, I was so let down. I think Star Trek Into Darkness is the only thing that I left the theater more angry about than Prometheus. I just was so bummed out that something that looked as beautiful as it does, and
Yeah.
has as great a cast as it does, was so stupid.
It had plot holes you could drive a truck through.
but you were a fan.
I was a fan. I think fundamentally people forget that they're all the movies in this franchise are basically slasher movies. It's always about people going into some part of space, doing something stupid, and then getting killed one by one.
Not that
And
stupid.
I loved that a movie got made that basically said, God doesn't exist, your creator's an asshole, and he made you to be a biological weapon host.
Well, no, that part of it didn't bother me. I just didn't like the stupid crap. And there was a lot of it. People will go see it, I think. But I think there was a lot of anger about Prometheus. A lot. It's a lot of hate. A lot of hate.
I think the alien Jesus idea that was pitched originally is insane, but it's so insane that I kind of want to see him do it anyway, just to see how it comes out. And as I was saying earlier, I think he should definitely get Mohammed so-and-so from such and such to star in this.
Oh, God. Oh, look that up. Just, oh. I'm sure it'll do well, but like I've gotten to the point where I keep seeing crappy movies do really, really well. So I'm, if it's shiny and bright and things flash and explode, then it will do well.
And the 3D is really, really good. If it's good, like the first Prometheus, that was really beautiful to me.
It was shiny.
It was shiny.
Yeah, I thought it was a gorgeous looking movie. I just,
Yes.
it annoyed me.
I have the angers. All right, well, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for filling in for
Thank
Bibbs.
you very much.
And follow us on Twitter @MostCraved, and we will see you next week.